everything from a Heisman to a Nagurski in their rich legacy, and today in Minneapolis, the Golden Gophers hope to add another memorable chapter. Little gets the blood boiling, quite like a rivalry game. Barbs, shots, trash talk, things that go on throughout the week will now all be settled on this field. As we'll see a squad from the Big Ten, the Michigan Wolverines, taking on a squad hoping to prevent another L this week, the Minnesota Golden Gophers. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Bryce Davis, joined here in the booth as our Golden Gophers will kick it away first. And he takes this from inside the 5. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. So the Michigan Wolverines offense will get the first swing of the game. Historically, guys, Michigan has kept a death grip on the little brown jug. Gophers hoping to put that thing in play today.
And you see that little brown jug in the celebration after every Michigan-Minnesota game. And you're right, Michigan has had it for the majority of the time. Minnesota knows that. They got to do something about that today.
Yeah, Minnesota plays in a lot of trophy games, don't they? But this is one they would love to put in the trophy case a lot more consistently. To do that, they have got to match the intensity of Michigan in this game, and they have got to be more physical than what they've shown in recent years.
The defense wouldn't let him loose there, and it was a completion, but they lost yardage. Third down, and they'll need 5 to keep this opening drive moving. Coming after it. And this sophomore able to wreak some havoc and get the sack. Just a great job defensively, making him go through his progressions, and he really didn't have time to do it.
And that's exactly what you do in zone coverage. You drop in your spots, you read the quarterback's eyes, make sure you take away that quick stuff, and a great job rushing the passer and getting the sack.
The Wolverines will call on their punt team. The punter going to get his first work of the afternoon. Gets his first one of the day off. He was called on 4 times in last week's win. He'll call for the fair catch here. So Minnesota's offense headed onto the field. Our first look at them today. This is just a great matchup to watch on the outside, and who can win downfield in the passing game.
Man, this reminds me of 1997, Charles Woodson versus David Boston. 2 physical athletes that are going to be going toe-to-toe all game long.
Yeah, 2 alphas, 2 guys that play the positions where you have to have such confidence, quarterback, wide receiver. Let's see this throwdown.
On second down, they'll take to the air. Caught over the middle, it's Williams. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there, still a bit short of the first down. He's going to look for a man on 3rd and short. Fires to the tight end. They've got it inside the 40 at the 39 as they pick up the first down. From the gun, the running back has it. Pulled down after a pickup of 5, but they knocked that defense back, and they've got it down to the 34. They'll run play action. Throws to the wideout. He is lucky to get that one back, and the last thing you want is to turn it over on your opening drive. 3rd and short, coming from the 34. You wonder if this is 4-down territory. Throwing right. Oh, picked off. And they'll close in on him after a good return on the interception.
And defensive backs, you think, don't have good hands. The big fella shows it. How about that defensive back going up and getting the interception? Nice job breaking on the football. You say that's why you play defense, because you don't have hands? Yeah, I beg to differ.
Michigan ready to get that offense rolling again. The last time we saw this offense, we had to look quick. It was a 3-and-out, Jesse.
They just had no rhythm in that last drive. So someone's going to
hit the gas, kid, wide open ahead. He's at the 10. Touchdown, Wolverines. And once he found some daylight, it was time to make a house call. They can use this first score to sort of set the tone, guys, in this rivalry matchup.
Man, doesn't this feel good to come out, score early, get the crowd involved, get the nerves out of the way, Palmer, when you're playing in a big rivalry game?
Yeah, and I feel like momentum's always a big thing in any game, but in rivalry games, it's that much more important because everybody is going to feed off that first score now.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And he's got the extra point, and it's 7-0 to start this one. What a way to send a message. Huge play in the running game. One snap, and you've got a touchdown on the board. From inside his own 10, he'll try to help out their field position. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. They try to pop a run on the draw. He's stuffed after picking up 1 to the 23. Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. From the gun, give on the inside. Really nice job to squirt his way up to the 31-yard line. Big third down coming from their own 31. Defense tries to get off the field. They'll stick to the ground looking for the marker. He'll be stopped short, picks up 1, but they're facing 4th and 1. And the Golden Gophers send out the punt unit. Fair catch called for and taken at the 30-yard line. And here comes the Michigan offense back on the field. After that last explosive running play, David, why not just try it again, right?
I mean, why not? Such a big, long, explosive run. You think, Jesse, maybe give it to him again? Or would you say, hey, QB, throw that thing out there?
I think you keep it on the ground, David. Honestly, I was watching the offensive line. They were fired up after that long touchdown run. You know they just want to go back out there again and get some points.
From the gun on 3rd down. Catch in the middle, it's Hansen. And he's knocked down immediately, but not before he moves the chains. And the Wolverines will line it up on 1st and 10. From the gun, they'll try to impose their will. That's what you expect from a senior. Don't give them any extra yards. Great tackle there. Wide receiver now comes in motion. On 2nd down, he'll fire. Get it out on the screen. And they wrap him up, but not before he's got enough for the 1st down. The Wolverines are rolling down the field. Off the play fake on 1st down. And the defense picks up a sack, getting the quarterback down at the 44.
Oftentimes with play action, you're asking the quarterback to hold on to the ball a bit longer, and you're asking this offensive line to hold up and pass pro a bit longer. Against this athletic front 7 on defense, it's going to be tough.
We'll see if they can get a little better protection after the sack. It's 2nd and 12. They'll put the tight end in motion. The play action fake. And here comes the pressure, and there he goes down again.
And they've been waiting for something good to happen with respect to getting after the quarterback, right? They're outside of the top 100 in the country in sacks per game, but finally now you see they're generating this pass rush. 3 sacks on the game so far.
And we might as well state the obvious. 1st and 2nd down didn't work out. 3rd and very long. He's looking downfield to throw. Got it in the middle. It's Morgan. And he's not going to get there. The defense stands tall and makes the stop. 4th down, and the punt team sends it the other way. Make sure that there's not going to be a return on this when ball's out of bounds, and I think they'll mark it right around the 25. Comes out throwing on 1st down. Oh, he drops the football. He had him right down the gut of the field. Instead, it'll be 2nd down. He's looking to throw. Catch in the middle. It's Johnson. The modest gain on the completion really shows why you want to run the zone. Make them execute and rally to the ball.
100%. Zone eyes on the quarterback. I see him throw the football, break on it, go make tackles, live to fight another down.
Complete downfield. They're ripping off chunks of yardage. They get it to the 33. The Golden Gophers moving quickly to the line.
From a my defense, I got to find a way to get some more pressure on the quarterback or disrupt their timing and their rhythm. I can't give them these big chunk plays through the air. I got to be maybe a little bit more aggressive or do something a little bit different.
They make the stop after the catch and still some work to do to pick up that first down. We've reached the end of the period and Michigan has the lead. We've put one in the books. Let's have a look at our game summary. They are lined up and ready to go and get things started here in the second. It'll be a draw. Tackled, but he has a first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Going up top on first down. Caught near the sideline, it's Alexander. And that play just looked to be a mess from the snap, and he's run out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. On second down, looking to throw. Flips it out to the back. They get him down after he makes the catch. Seventh play of the drive coming up, but a long way to go on third down. Looking to throw, and he needs a bunch. Pocket starts to collapse. And this sophomore able to wreak some havoc and get the sack.
Well, this guy's become a bit of a problem for opposing offenses. In their last game, he had 2 sacks, and he's dominating again, getting his first sack in this game now. He right now is wrecking people's game plans, and this offense better find out how to slow him down.
And the Golden Gophers decide to punt it away. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. They call it a coffin corner kick for a reason, and you really can't do it any better than that. He puts that thing out of bounds right around the goal line. Running back searching for a hole. He's brought down, but not before they pick up the big first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. They're getting this guy lathered up. Solid gain to get him out close to the 20. Pick up a 5 to the 19. Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5. On the option. Fighting off the defender. Just couldn't find a hole in this defense. They were ready for him and forced him out of bounds, and no gain on the play. Here comes the option. Quick toss. And they'll ride him down, but not before he picked up the first down. And how about the timing on that pitch? And the Wolverines look to keep this drive humming. Someone not clear on the snap count. It'll be a false start, and they'll move it back. The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. Now on the option. They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a first down. Kept it on the ground last time. Let's see if they go back to it on second down. He's looking to throw. Caught behind the line. It's Moore. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that first down marker. These are the types of plays where offenses impose their will. 3rd and short from the 45. And the incomplete pass will bring up 4th down. The Wolverines will send out the punt unit. They'll get down and put a stop to the return at about the 28-yard line. Minnesota has it back, and the Gopher offense is headed onto the field. They just didn't quite find the rhythm on that last drive, Jesse. They had to punt it.
I think they got to be more physical, David. I think up.
Oh, look out! A huge gain on that one before he ran out of bounds, and he has the first down. The Golden Gophers racing to the line in the hurry-up.
Well, on that one, they decide to attack the left outside on the ground, and you see the speed by the ball carrier there, Reese, picking up a huge chunk of yards.
I can't imagine any reason they wouldn't just run that play again.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why not just go back to the well one more time?
Finally, this offense starting to shake the cobwebs and get things moving. It's 1st and 10. Got it in the middle, it's Simpson. He's brought down, solid pickup, but a little bit short of the first down. Trying to get a rhythm in the passing game now on second down. They'll run it from the gun. And he's knocked down, but not before moving the chains. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. And the Golden Gophers have it with a 1st and 10. They'll ride the hot hand. Pulled down after a pickup of 3, balls at the 13. It'll be second down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. Pressure coming. And the pass rush is effective, and they tackle him at the 19.
The defense just simply not fooled by the play action. Oftentimes as an offense, you're hoping the run fake's going to slow down those pass rushers, but man, oh man, they had their ears pinned back.
They line up with some serious work to do if they want to convert this one. On 3rd and long, he'll need to push it downfield. He makes the catch at the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota!
Really nice job by the quarterback there of just letting the play develop. He had his eyes down in the middle of the field, and I think when he saw that deep middle area vacated, he said to himself, I've got a guy running right into that area. I'm throwing this thing on time, and this is going to be a touchdown. That's exactly what happened.
And the extra point splits the upright. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
A bit of an under-the-radar game this week, guys, but take a look at this. Old Dominion is in front. They've controlled the line of scrimmage today. They still have some work to do to put this in the win column. They are up by 7 over UConn. We are the eyes and ears of the college football fan, and we've got you covered all day here in studio, guys.
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. Nowhere to run on that one. He loses 4 on the carry. We'll take a quick break as we have reached the final 2 minutes of the first half. Dialing up a second down pass play. Grabbed in the middle. It's Hansen. He'll be stopped at the 27, but it's a 15-yard gain.
They just find ways to find the big fellas. Those big tight ends are huge targets for the quarterbacks. The throws are usually in between the numbers. That makes it pretty easy. Usually sure-handed guys like that just come across the field.
Can anyone catch him? At the 20. Touchdown, Michigan. And once he got loose, it was all over.
And I just love the execution by this offense. Late in the half, man, you want to take the lead. You want to get that momentum on your side, and they do it. They finish it with the passing game. And I'll tell you what, keep that passing game up. You can keep this lead, keep the momentum, and keep putting up numbers.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And the PAT gives them a 14-7 lead. Quick strike offense on that 3-play scoring drive. And they finish things off with some flair, a 73-yard touchdown pass. On the run from inside his own 5. Able to find enough room to get it out across the 25. He's brought down at the 26. The Minnesota offense is headed back onto the field. Fires to the wideout. Nice defensive play to get a hand in there and knock it away. In the lore of the little brown jug, guys, it originally was just a water jug that Michigan wanted back, and Minnesota told them, well, come win it if you want it so bad.
Yeah, listen, I mean, it's not the most expensive-looking trophy out there for sure, but listen, it was important. I mean, it was helping hydrate people back in the day, David, so, you know, you get points for that.
Not expensive, but you know what? Anything that drives the hate between people and the animosity, sign me up, bro. And so we got to play for it. It means something, and people argued about it. Little brown jug.
Oh, goes right through his hands, and he will think about that one for a while. It'll be third down. Looking for space. It's Alexander. And the runner is down, and so is a flag. They say you could call holding on every play. Well, they did on that one. Not exactly the ideal situation for this offense. 3rd and long, backed up inside their 20. He leaves it with the back. And sure, tackling there to keep him from getting to the first down marker. The Golden Gophers will try to pin them back with the punt. Slips through the line. Really good job by the coverage team to make the stop, and that's where they'll put it in play. First down here for the offense. They're going to open this drive with a pass. Snagged in the middle. It's Hansen. He knew exactly where he wanted to go with that one, and they've got enough for the first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. And it's incomplete. If you're going to take a hit like that, you might as well hang on to the ball. The Gophers put up quite a fight for the Jug last year, but it was the Wolverines pulling out a close one.
And that's not a surprise. Michigan dominates this series, and they own the Little Brown Jug. You might as well put Wolverines on it as much as they've won it. They need to make sure they set the tone early. Don't give Minnesota life. Show their dominance early in this football game.
You know, you had to wonder last year if a lot of those players at Michigan maybe weren't thinking about, you know, the rivalries with Penn State and Michigan State and obviously Ohio State at the end of the year. Minnesota is not a program you can overlook, though, because they are tough and they are scrappy, and they're coming for that Little Brown Jug.
And the Wolverines will have it 1st and 10. Looking to move it through the air. Fires deep toward the end zone. Fires the pass. Intercepted.
And that's why as quarterbacks you cannot telegraph the pass. You cannot stare down your receivers because these defenders, they're watching you. And that defender knew exactly where the QB was going with that football, and that's why he picked it off.
Minnesota has it back, and the Gopher offense is headed onto the field. This late in the half, you're behind. You'd love to create something before the break to build momentum, Jesse.
Well, you've also had some miscues on offense, a big part of why you're losing the game right now. I take it into halftime, make my adjustments, and come out ready in the second half.
Yeah, I'm going to take it into halftime too, Paul. But I'm trying to put some points up right here. Be aggressive, set the tone, be like, hey, listen, this is what you're going to get in the second half, so find something really quickly you can go to.
That pass is incomplete, and they might be fortunate it wasn't knocked free for a fumble. It'll be 3rd down. Strong running there. Going to pick up 7 yards on the play, but they still have a 4th and 3. The defense going to stop the clock with a timeout. They want to make sure they have everybody on the same page. 4th down, and the punt team sends it the other way. Fair catch called for and made. A first down for the offense. He's going to pass. Just a bit of a misfire there as they can't make the connection. After the incompletion, here comes 2nd and 10 from the 32. Really nice stop there from this senior leader. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin and our halftime update.
Gentlemen, seldom do the rational turn irrational the way they do. These two teams and fan bases get together with a Little Brown Jug on the line. And there is no better place to start this halftime than by reviewing how this wideout has been a one-man wrecking crew. The kid's been everywhere. And I love how he's willing to go across the middle, but that he also has the jets to burn these DBs on the deep ball. If this defense wants to actually come back in this one, they better hide his cleats. With that, let's throw it back to the guys to see how the fight between Minnesota and Michigan plays out.
Just about set for the second half kickoff. Here he comes from inside his own 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. The Minnesota offense is headed back onto the field. He'll start this third quarter with a run. They'll knock him down after a pickup of 1 to the 18. Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. It's a draw. May not be the most memorable play of the day, but it's important as he gets them out to the 25-yard line. On 3rd and short, they'll ride the running back here. He gets it oh so close to the first down marker, but I think he's going to be a touch short. And the Golden Gophers will line up to punt it away. They've been busy out there to punt for the 5th time today. And he'll work his way on the return out to the 35-yard line before he stops. Guys, this offense coming back out onto the field. The give to the tailback. And a really nice run and pick up there before the defense avoided disaster and stopped the really big play. Might as well give it to him again. And he was able to get away from one tackle, but plenty of help was on the way. Decent pickup on that play. Trying play action. Throws to the tight end. And that's going to fall to the ground incomplete. That was a physical matchup there. 3rd down coming. Now on the move. They'll move the chains. Good execution on 3rd down. They've got it at the 41. The Wolverines have this offense rolling. This guy can throw it. And they dialed up a shot play, but they couldn't hook up. 2nd down after that incompletion. He's looking to throw. Trying to get to it. Always a welcome play for the defense as they get a sack at the 47.
Play-action pass success has a lot to do with selling that fake. You could tell defense was not buying it, got in the backfield, got the big play.
This is a 3rd and long. Looking downfield, and he needs a bunch. Grabbed over the middle. It's Hansen. And he's not going to make it. The defense denying him the 1st down. 4th down, and the punt team sends it the other way. And nobody able to handle that punt. They'll let it bounce and roll out of bounds. Minnesota has it back, and the Gopher offense is headed onto the field. On the run, it's Alexander. Couldn't find any way to get out of the end zone, and they get him for a safety.
Hold it. Open.
So the penalty will not be enforced. The defense declines and stands on the result of the play. On the return, it's Ocha. They make the tackle at the 39, but a really good job by the return team there. Here comes the offense on 1st down. He wants to start this drive with a pass. And this will be incomplete. A big hit there forces 2nd down. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. He's going for the big play. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. And he's wrapped up after a solid return on the pick. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. 1st down here for the offense. Quick handoff. Able to scrounge 3 yards out of that one somehow. It's 2nd and 7. Stuck with a running game on 1st down. Now here they come again. They'll ride the running back and leave it with him.
Hold it. Open.
We'll repeat the previous down, but this time the offense has 10 more yards it has to cover. On 2nd down, wants to throw it. Takes a hit as he fires. He makes a catch. Really nice pickup on that one as they get it to the 36. It'll be 1st down.
And those long shots, man, I tell you what, it takes a little bit longer to develop. So as a quarterback, you know you got to buy a little bit of time. Mad respect, man. Hanging in there, knowing he's going to get hit, but still making the big play down the field.
To the ground with the back. And a decent gain there before the defense makes a stop. If every journey begins with a step, this offense needs to step into a third down conversion and then try to turn it into some scores, and fast. That's reeled in. It's Smith. A real mark of experience from this junior. He knew a hit was coming, and he kept those eyes downfield. On fourth down, he'll try to toss it. He can't make the grab. It's incomplete, but there is a flag, and I believe this is going to be pass interference.
And the defender just way too handsy on that last play. You could see all the contact as the ball was in the air. He simply can't do it, and the referee's caught it.
Quickly complete. They make the stop right there. Good pickup, but still short of the first down. The Golden Gophers have taken it inside the 20. On the move. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. They've been able to control the ball. This is the 7th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 3. Off the bootleg, wants to toss it. Didn't have much of a choice, just had to throw that one away. It'll be 4th down. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. They've decided to try to go for the field goal here. Good, right down the boulevard. And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
All right, guys, a little update on what else is happening in college football this weekend. Old Dominion fell behind early, and it's been an uphill climb since. The thing is, this is a program that's worked the portal about as well as anyone. These kids are tough and could just find a way. It's just a field goal game. They're trailing by 3 to UConn. We'll circle back. If anything big happens, you should know about it.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. He is electric in the return game, and that one has the offense set up nicely. Snap it to the back.
It's the MO of this offense, and they really put a lot on the offensive line to go out and really try and establish their dominance and their assertiveness, and they've done a good job of that early in this game running the football.
Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5. Caught over the middle. It's Cleescore. Wrestled to the ground after picking up the first down. Here they come, 1st and 10 from the 48. He's looking to throw it. Makes the grab. It's Morgan.
And I love when my quarterback sees zone and knows exactly where to go with the football. Sees the wide receiver running the drag route, knows when to throw it, pulls the trigger for the easy completion.
Here's the handoff. 1-step wrap, 2-step squeeze. This junior knows how to get him on the ground. As they get set to snap it, time winding down here in the quarter. The option look. And they'll move the chains with the first down, but that might be it for the 3rd quarter. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Plenty of time for one more snap before the end of the quarter. Little touch pass to the receiver. And he's knocked down, but there's also laundry on the field. We'll see what the officials have called.
Offense.
That penalty moves the ball back 10 yards. We'll replay the down. We've reached the end of the period, and Michigan has the lead. Let's take a quick look at the national rankings to see how this playoff race is shaping up. One quarter to go, and might we have the makings of a classic 4th quarter finish. From the gun, looking for a man. Unloads to the wideout. Got his man to the left. And it is a chunk play, a huge gain on that one before the defense brings it to an end. They'll run the option. And he's ridden to the ground, but there's also a flag down. Let's check the call.
Hold it. Offense.
Holding penalties, the ultimate drive killer. We'll see if it costs this offense here. Motion by the back forces the defense to adjust. He wants to throw. Second down coming up. Now the play fake. They're trying to get to him. Quarterback feeling that pressure, and he's knocked down in the 42.
You can just see the excitement this defense has every play. They're almost wishing this quarterback drops back to throw because they know they're going to get home to him. That's the 6th time they've registered a sack.
And whatever they did on first and second down, don't do that anymore. Third and very long coming up. Looking to throw, and he needs a chunk play. And they wanted it all on third down, but now dealing with fourth down. And the Wolverines will bring the punt team onto the field. They may have to pay him overtime. He's punting for the 5th time today. He won't be able to return this one as it goes out of bounds. The Minnesota offense is headed back onto the field. Gonna run it. It's Alexander. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. After getting knocked back to open this drive, it's 2nd and 12. Leaves it with the running back. Pushes the pile for a couple of yards down at the 12. This defense has kept them backed up. Now one more stop, and they can get off the field on 3rd and long. Feeling some heat. And a sack all the way back at the 5.
This is a tough part of the field. You want to try to create some space and give yourself an opportunity not to throw out of your own end zone. They didn't hold up in protection. They give up the sack, but thank goodness they didn't give up a safety.
And the Golden Gophers will punt it away on 4th down. 3 and out, they got stuck in reverse. They hope the punt can bail them out. Sometimes avoiding disaster is the best thing. The punter just gets it out of there. Guys, here come those maize and blue winged helmets on offense. They had to punt it away on their last possession, but man, what great field position this time.
I mean, this is awesome. Like, last possession didn't go great. Now you're set up with an opportunity to get some points. Start thinking about what plays I like, Jesse, as I cross the 50.
There are a lot of offensive coordinators out there, David, and in this position, they like to take a shot right away and try and capitalize on this field position.
They have work in front of them on 3rd and short from the 42. Looking to throw for it. Using the quick game. Now they're really starting to threaten as they pick up the first down at the 34-yard line. Back to the air one more time. Got it behind the line. It's Stewart. He stopped just a chain link or 2 away from the first down and sets them up beautifully here. Movement on the offensive line. That's going to be a false start, and they'll walk it back.
False start.
So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. Now 2nd down as they try to run this clock. Getting some heat. He's got it. He found his man and zipped it in there, and they've got a first down in the red zone at the 11. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. The Wolverines are moving quickly down the field. Quarterback on the keeper. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Second down coming up on this red zone opportunity. Off play action. They're bringing heat. Short gain on the play before he slides. Boy, they'd love to move the sticks here and take a shot at it on 1st and goal. They want to run this quarterback. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. And now on 4th down, they will put it on the shoulders of the kicker to save them with his foot. Thought he had it and couldn't get it through the uprights. He missed it. The lead is still 6 after the miss.
That's just the chip shot. That's just a field goal they got to make, guys.
Minnesota has it back, and the Gopher offense is headed onto the field. That last drive fizzled out, Jesse. They had to punt it.
Yeah, they did. And, David, they're just going to have to do a better job this time around erasing the mental mistakes.
And just trying to solve the defensive riddle, understanding what they're trying to do to you and attack them.
Wants to throw on 2nd down. Makes his connection. Tackled immediately after the catch. Now looking for that 1st down on 3rd and short from the 26. From the gun, wants to pass. Excellent coverage and good use of the hands to knock it away. And here we go, down to score. They'll go for it on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the 1st down. And he's sacked. A big play on 4th down to stop this drive.
And listen, obviously, at this area of the field, it's a question, it's a debate whether or not you go for that on 4th down. At the end of the day, though, I think this coach believes in his own playmakers, and he's got guys on offense that he feels can make a play in that type of situation, and he's got confidence in him. That time they weren't able to come up with it. I'm curious to see what this guy does if they're in a similar situation as this game moves on.
He'll come out throwing on 1st down. Got a man. That completion will take it close to the 5-yard line. They'll mark it at the 6. We have arrived at the 2-minute warning, a one-possession game as this offense tries to hold on. And he waltzes in for the score. Touchdown, Wolverines! They extend this lead, and it looks as if they are going to make it 2 wins in a row.
And, late in the games, offenses sometimes get conservative when they got the lead and they got the ball. I love this offense. They were aggressive. They got another score added to the lead. Now you're trying to salt this game away.
2-point conversion attempt is on the way. Pre-snap motion in the backfield. Pulled down for the tackle.
And they got him on the ground just short of the 1-yard line. The running back, you could tell he wanted to get in there, wanted to use his power and try to fall forward, but a nice job of tackling by the defense and making that thing fall just short.
And the return man is stopped, and that'll leave it up to the offense on the next drive. They'll crank up this drive with the pass. Gets it out fast. And he'll make his way out of bounds after the solid pickup. After the 1st down completion, it's 2nd and short. He's looking to throw. Fires to the wideout. And it slips through his fingers, incomplete. That would have been a huge gain if he could have held on. They're going to go to the air on 3rd and short. And he dropped it, just didn't look the thing all the way in. Coach has no choice here. The offense has to stay on the field, down multiple possessions this late. 4th down attempt coming. Can't find his man. It'll be incomplete, and that is a heartbreaker this late in the game. They'll run it. They want to take their time here. The offense quickly calls timeout to stop the clock. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Movement from the linebackers trying to mess with the offensive line's assignments. At this point, the defense has little choice but to sell out to stop the run on 2nd and 7. Tackle is made after the 1st down.
And they've had a day, and it's the complete and total offense. They got the ground going, and obviously this is why you see him. You're going to feature him because he can churn those legs, get those extra yards, but they've had balance, throwing for touchdowns. Like, this offense has been very complete today, and that's why they're winning so big.
And that running back essentially just did everything right. Not only did he rip off a 9-yard run with the lead late in the game, but he stayed in bounds. He had the awareness that if I...
And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Michigan. They've extended the lead and taken control here in Week 9. Michigan has dominated this rivalry over the years, and they look oh so close to securing the jug again.
You look at Michigan on paper, and they have an advantage all over the place against Minnesota. It was a question of whether they could just stay out of their own way. If they eliminated the mistakes, we knew this was going to be a tall order for Minnesota, and Michigan just looks dominant.
Yeah, it stinks, but it is the facts. The facts are you're less talented at Minnesota, and you've got to play really, really well, especially in these rivalry games, and hope to catch Michigan on a bad day. But that little brown jug is inching towards Michigan's sideline now.
On the move from inside his 5. And the returner will be brought down. The Minnesota offense is headed back onto the field. It has been a rather forgettable day that's finally coming to a close, David.
Yeah, it's been an awful day. I mean, just not functioning well on offense, defense giving up a lot of points. This is a day, Palmer, they'll like to forget.
Yeah, you're going to find out a lot about their character right now. Obviously, not what they hoped this would be, and that's demoralizing for a lot of these kids that have worked really hard in practice all week. But at this point here, you're just trying to prove to your coaching staff that you're not going to quit.
Pass interference penalty will cost the defense 15 and a first down for this offense. He wants to throw. Missed his receiver there. It's incomplete. 2nd and 10 after the previous play. He's looking to throw. He's got it. That is exactly what you're looking for when you talk explosive plays. The defense finally able to make the stop. He'll just keep slinging it. He's going up top here late in the game.
And it's just been that kind of day for this quarterback and this offense, guys. They have never been able to get into a rhythm throwing the football. Timing's been off.
And he can't escape, and down he goes. Sprinting to the line to try to get this one off. Clock's running. On 3rd and long, he'll need to loosen up that arm. And that one's incomplete. They weren't just trying to move the chains. They were trying to move the scoreboard. Instead, it's 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. And it's swatted away. It's a turnover on downs. Running out the clock, a mere formality between them and a victory as we have victory formation coming. It's really easy to get caught up in the emotion of a rivalry game. We did, and certainly this was a huge win.
Yeah, and you started, you circled it, you were ready for this team. This is the rivalry you put a lot of stock in all offseason. You're talking about this game in particular. You go out and get the dub. It's a relief because you definitely wanted this team.
And it's bragging rights for everybody, for the coaching staff, for the fans, but how about for the players as well? For another 365 days, you can talk about how you went out, you dominated, and you beat your rival. A lot of these guys are going to go on to the NFL. They'll be in locker rooms next year. They'll be talking about this for a long time.
That's going to do it for us from here. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.